Hey guys, it's Christy, the Homesteader Wannabe. I'm going to take you on a quick garden tour. We don't have a lot to show. So some things are dying, some things are just starting to grow. But you know, a walk around will be pretty interesting maybe for you. But it's always interesting for me to be outside and see anything that's growing, or even if it's just putting out its last stuff. It's always interesting, and I want to be outside as much as possible before winter gets here. You'll probably see my little sweeper back here working, and you can probably hear it. Like I said last vlog, twice a day now because we have a dog. But anyway, I'm going to plant. I have two holes where I tore out a zucchini and a summer squash. I'm not sure if I'm going to put okra in there or if I'm going to put the I can't think of what it's called, but I'll decide before I go out, and then I will plant that. And I'll show you, they're starting on my garden, and we're starting, my husband's building a barn down in the front, and when they were excavating or whatever, where you're trying to get it level, the dirt down there is really good, because when we moved here, there were cows. And mainly they stayed down there in the winter because that's where they had put the round bales and the cows would eat off of it. The grass, we don't really have weeds in there, but we did, you know, have lots of grass. So there's like tons of dirt. And my husband's like, how much dirt do you want me to keep? And I'm like, I want all of it. I might not be able to use it now, but I'll be able to use it someday. Or, you know, like I fill in these holes around the property and stuff like that. So I don't know if I'll be able to keep it all, but I'm gonna try. So it was so busy this week, and it was so hot. It was so hot last week at the weekend, and then at the beginning of the week, that I didn't weed eat, I didn't go outside, I didn't do anything. The only thing I did was water and kill any bugs. And I'm gonna tell you, right now, every day, I go out like 3 times a day and I kill hornworms on my tomatoes. Every day. But where I'm going out 3 times a day, they haven't got any tomatoes. They've just got some leaves, so it's working good. And then I found another pest called a swallow or something, something fly or something that's making my leaves on my hibiscus like totally lacy. So I had to cut back a lot of hibiscus, and I put diatomaceous earth on it, and I'll probably go out later and put diatomaceous earth on those leaves again. They said that will kill, not the eggs, but it will kill the worms, caterpillars that come out. I can't believe it. I mean, it looked like Japanese beetles. I was like, well, maybe there's a few stragglers that are living. But after it got really, really, really bad, then I finally Googled it and found out what it was. So hopefully they'll live. I got 2 of them pretty early before it got too bad, so I'll show that to you. And anyway, let's go ahead and start. Okay, this is where my bush tomato was. It did okay. In the ground is better. I will not do this in a bag again. Strawberries, they have not produced very much, but they have been greener. These are the ones from Cottage Farms. These are the ones from Roberta's. I would buy Roberta's over Cottage Farms next year. Okay, I planted some carrots in here, and they take a long time to germinate. Only one of them that I started in the house lived. I had 4 that started in the house, but I planted some more, so we'll see if they come up. Over here I have this very sickly tomato plants, but it does have tomatoes on it. Very little tomatoes. I will not be planting tomatoes in this kind of bed or the bags anymore. Here's another one in a bag. It's got a tomato on it, but you'll see the ones in the ground totally different. I am not sure what this is. I planted some lettuce and stuff in here in the spring that never grew. I don't know if that's what it is. I do have a carrot coming up right here. These cucumbers have sucked, but they do have some green coming on right now. And I do have a weirdo cucumber over there that's weird shaped. That, I cut a green bean off, and that is like sprouting. There's another carrot. Ho, ho, ho. And there's something I planted, I'm not sure. It might have, I think it might be a cabbage. Here's a pepper plant that did not do well in this pot, but I My other peppers have done well in the pot, except that I overcrowded them. These peppers have not done good in this pot. I think they're not habaneros. I never can remember what they're called. Now these, I put 3 jalapeno peppers in this little pot, and they have done great. I have some in the freezer. I have some on the counter. I have given some away. Here is 2 cabbages I planted. I am going to take one of these cabbages out, and I'm going to put it in this bag. I don't want to put cabbages in the ground. I don't know. I like putting stuff like lettuce and stuff like that not on the ground because you get the grit and stuff like that. Plus, I can't keep the bugs off it as well. And there's some strawberries that's doing really good green-wise, but not fruit-wise. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to break this soil up and put one of the cabbages in there right now. All right. It is gorgeous out here today. This is September 2nd. I'm going to leave that in there, I guess. 77 with a breeze, and it's just beautiful to look at. I hope this is showing up. This is like, the soil is really just been through it. It's done. Let's see. Since this isn't the ground, I'd like to get this out of here, but I don't know if I can without taking all the dirt. But we have had a crazy few weeks here with them starting on the barn down there, and then we had a leak in our bathroom, so we're gonna have to get the roof fixed. And where it was so hot, and I know I'm just a complaining person. It was hot everywhere, so anyway, I'll throw that on that garden down there. Decomposed, friend. Anyway, that brought up some pretty good soil. I'll put this crap soil and put it to the sides. Now, do I know if this will work? I sure don't. I sure don't. But I should call this the Try Me channel because I have no clue. But I'm gonna put a little bit more dirt, and then I'll water all this in when this video is over. I'm not gonna make you watch me water. So I had my husband pick up some topsoil the other day, and it was $1.79 a bag, which is pretty good. So I was going to have him pick up some more, and now I have that dirt down there, so it doesn't matter. But it went up to $2.49 in like hardly any time. So, like, if you're thinking maybe next year I would want this and this and this, I would go ahead and maybe start buying stuff, because it's not going to get cheaper. I hope you make it. I did pull a black worm that kind of looked like a baby hornworm off here yesterday. I don't know if hornworms are interested in this stuff. And I will put vitamins on this, and I will put fertilizer on it before I water it. And so that's that. Okay, so here is my garage garden. My lavenders have came back beautiful, and I have Googled how to save the seeds out of the lavender, so I've been saving the seeds from these big time lavenders, not from the other lavenders. Not that I don't love them, but it's not the same. They're not as compact and beautiful as these. Here is my rainbow tomato. I have picked a bunch of them off of here. Well, I wouldn't say a bunch. For me, it's a bunch. It's like 4, which is... it tells you how pathetic. And I've killed way more hornworms than that. And there's 2 back there that I've been watching every day. One of them has a slight blush on the bottom, but I'd like to wait just a little bit longer. Here is a pepper plant. I think those are, I don't know, habaneros maybe. I don't know exactly sure. Here is my cucumber plant that I planted in hopes that I would get some more cucumbers. Here is my 2 holes. This is where I pulled the zucchini, and I can't even see the other one. Anyway, there's the other one. They don't have huge roots, so I am going to plant leeks in there. Here is my Amish paste. I've killed even the most hornworms on this one. And I've had to cut a bunch of leaves off of it that had, you know, damage. There's one of those little black caterpillars. Bye, buddy. See ya. Disgusting. I'm looking for hornworms as I'm showing you. So, there's something eating this. I don't know what it is. That is a little tomato plant. Cherry tomatoes. I don't see anything. So I'll have to really watch that too. Here is my old cucumber plant that is got something growing behind it that looks very much like a bush tomato. That I had a bush tomato here last year. I always let some of the tomatoes rot in the ground. But where it was shaded by the squashes, it's just now growing. And then here is one that's a volunteer from last year too, and it's really starting to take off, and it didn't take off until I took the zucchini plant out of here. Here is I think a radish or an okra. Here is a radish or an okra, and over there is another little cherry tomato. They're just not gonna make it. There's a dead hornworm over there that I cut in half. Sometimes when I can't really reach them to pull them off, I'll just cut them in half. I always keep scissors with me. And this is my mortgage lifter tomato plant, and I've only got one off of here so far. But I have lots of fruit growing, and I also have lots of hornworms, you know, loving it. And there's my big time lavender on the end again. As I've said before, next year, all this is going to be is I'll leave the lavender, and it's just going to be cucumbers all the way down, because that's what I want the most. Okay, hopefully you can see this. This is what I'm planting here. I will need this to remind myself. I am going to get some of those things that you can write what stuff is for next year. These are very small. I'll probably put some more dirt in here. I don't want to have too much. I want dirt. I don't want mulch. So I hate you, weed. Mostly it's mulch. I need the dirt. That's just, I'm gonna go get some dirt, I think. I don't know. Let's just hope, because I don't feel like going to get in the dirt. And I don't have hardly any dirt left. Leek, grow. I probably should have just put you closer to the surface because you're very, very small. So I think I'll put another one here and just put, hopefully there's enough dirt in that. And hopefully you can see this. Oh my goodness. There we go. And if you can't see it, guess what? I can edit it out. If I can grow a leek after in mulch, pretty much anybody can grow a leek. So we'll see how it goes. Next year I will be, you know, I'm just kind of playing right now. And next year I will be really, really more serious. If it wasn't fall, I'd be really, really more serious. But I'm just kind of tweaking, trying, whatever. I have some ideas about some things I'm going to do. I had some summer squash that just never really got big. And they had hard skins. I was thinking, and I don't know if I'm for sure, I was thinking about putting them whole in the freezer next spring, bringing them out, and just throwing them in the ground. Because so many times when you just leave something and then it freezes and thaws all winter long, and then it soaks into the ground, and then you get volunteers. Well, why do all the work? I know I'm lazy, but I'm very strapped for time, and I'm looking for the easiest possible way to do things. And I love trying things, even if they don't work. I love trying things. So I am thinking about throwing it in the ground next spring, early spring, and just seeing what happens. I have 2 of them. I'm also thinking about just bringing one out and throwing it on the top of the ground and seeing what happens. So I don't know for sure that I'm going to do that. I'm pretty sure I'm going to do the one where I put it in the freezer and then bring it out in the spring. But, you know, why not try things? It's fun. It's funner than, I think it's the funnest thing about gardening is just like trying to figure out the easiest possible way to get things to grow. And if it, like I said, if it doesn't work, you know it doesn't work and you never try it again. But like I would always be thinking, I wonder if it would work if I put this in the freezer. So just do it. If you're thinking about doing something like that. It's time to move on. Okay, here is the ugly transformer. And these are doing great. I love that collar. I forget what it's called, but we got these from the next door neighbor's greenhouse. But here is my cantaloupes, and I'm gonna take this and hopefully, sorry about that, run it through. I'm trying to get it to grow over. Do I think I'm gonna get cantaloupe this year? I don't. I think these would have I think these would have done better in a garden. I think, you know, having the grass, but I did cut a big place around them, but the grass just grows and stuff. But I was trying to get it to grow over. That's my goal, is to get something that will grow over. Maybe I'll just do morning glories or something next year. I cut a big hunk of that butterfly bush off the other day when I was weed eating. Didn't use my little sickle, did I? Down here is my 2016 pumpkin seed that I put in the ground. And it's very green. Do I think I'm gonna get a pumpkin? Nope. But I put it in the ground. But it did have like a baby pumpkin on it, which died. So another thing that probably would do better. Here's another one that's really not gonna make it. Probably do better in a garden. I also planted another one that didn't do well. So on this side I have another cantaloupe, and I would probably start these indoors next year. I think I just threw them in the ground. Here is my flower garden, my favorite flower garden in the whole farm. It's looking pretty rough because the lavenders have stopped. I do have some black-eyed Susans in there. The white lavender's still going. But I miss all the butterflies. There's not that many right now. And they mostly seem like they want the butterfly bushes. I don't know if you can see that down there. I will try to zoom in. That's where my husband's barn is going to go. So it's very exciting. You can't even see the dirt pile from here, but it's pretty big. Okay, over here is another big time lavender. Like I said, I get them from Roberta's on QVC. I'm going to save the seeds this year, but I'm going to start them pretty early, so if they don't take off, I can order more from Roberta's. I might do like a vlog about the time they start selling vegetables next winter, about the pluses and the minuses from buying from QVC. These summer squash are not doing well. Look at this one. That's one of the ones I said that I would probably, I would check and see if it has seeds, and if it does, I might freeze it. They're not doing very well. you know, I don't know if it's because we don't have the bees we did or what, but the zucchinis are doing okay. I mean, at least they have some on them. There's one. And I want every zucchini I can get. I quit sharing zucchinis because I want them. I YouTubed. There's one right there. Because I love fried zucchini. And I was like, when I freeze these, I got a baby one on here. Okay, to finish that story. So I went on, my favorite thing is fried zucchini. I love zucchinis in soups and all that stuff, but I love fried zucchini, and I want fried zucchini in January. So I looked on YouTube, which is like the vegetable Bible, gardening Bible for me, and they said you can slice it, blanch it, go ahead and roll it in the egg, or you know, put the egg stuff on it, roll it in the cornmeal and flour, put the spices on it you want, and freeze it like that. And then when you want it, you pull it out and you don't let it thaw out. You put it in the hot grease and fry it away. So with every zucchini I get from here on out, that is how I'm going to freeze it, because that's my favorite thing. But I also love, if you've never ate zucchini pizza, I think that, sorry, there's a spider on my screen. I don't hate spiders, but I hate, this time of year you can't even walk outside. But if you've never tried, it's really good. You slice zucchini. I slice mine long ways and put just all the pizza stuff on it you like sauce, cheese. I put some banana peppers and mushrooms, but I think I'm just going to stick with banana peppers on there because you really don't need anything too liquidy. But banana peppers just smell like pizza. So that's another thing you can do with zucchini if you've never tried it. But everything I just told you, you can go on YouTube and find a recipe and watch somebody make it. Okay, there's my hollyhocks. They did not do great. And I know I have 4, and I have one. Oh, I see. There's one right here under the. This one's doing the best, and it's got some flowers going to come out. Here is what the sawtooth, whatever. When I edit this, I will write down what they are. This is what they've done to my beautiful hibiscus. Luckily, they do not eat the flowers. But the diatomaceous earth is holding up pretty good on this one. If you don't know what diatomaceous earth is, it kills some bugs, not all bugs. And I've even taken it before because it's great for your intestines. Like, you can take a tablespoon and mix it in water and drink it. And there's my ever-blooming lilac, which it didn't bloom this year, but I mean, it's grown a bunch, so I'm very satisfied with it. The hummingbirds are leaving us. They'll be gone soon. Jet! They'll be leaving us very soon. I have it written down. My last one will be like the 3rd week of September. These I'm going to move to, these are baby Rosa Sharons. You should get a ton of them if you have a Rosa Sharon. And I'm going to move them over there to that horrible place on the other side of the transformer. I have milkweed growing in here, and I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to pull it or leave it, because it would really take over. But nobody sees this garden but me. There is a giant begonia. I've had a few flowers. Those, I bought 5 of those from Roberta's. Only 2 lived. And there is some thyme, whatever. And a cat. And another Rosa Sharon. These Rosa Sharons will be cut back. As you can see, they're already starting to like turn color. And when they quit flowering, I will cut them back. Every one of these has seeds in them. And that's why I have Rosa Sharon babies over here. If I didn't weed eat this, I'd have Rosa Sharons everywhere. So I cut it back, cut every single pot off. But they're about done. My holly bush, well, it's a holly tree. This all came on just, you can see where the green is. That all started just like 2 weeks ago. So I don't know what happened, but I'm loving it. I love having a holly bush because I love having something green to look at in the middle of winter. See, there's some more Rose of Sharons. They just, you know, don't plant them anywhere around your garden. Do not bother that butterfly. Do not. It's a monarch. Here is the lilies I cut back. I think they look so nice when they start growing back out. These are the Dunn lavenders. The thyme did really good this year. I was going to pull this out of here, but it smells so good. And I was going to put it somewhere else and get the lower thyme. But it really has helped a lot with the weeds. I mean, I still have weeds, as you can see. I'm too lazy to go out here and pull them because it's not that I'm lazy, actually. It's that I just don't have a lot of time. Now, this was my best, biggest, beautifulest hibiscus. Look at that. I had to cut it all back. I left these because they have pods. I'm hoping that they will have enough pods to get some seeds out of it and plant it somewhere else. And there's some snap peas I'm going to be moving to the back. Cat almost tripped me. There's not, like I said, there's not a whole lot to see. Somebody's been eating on my rose bush, so I'm going to have to be using the deer fence again. My black-eyed Susans did great. They're actually, I've taken some out of here and moved them. The lavender, I mean, it got huge this year. And when you cut it back to the woody area. But this is just not pretty. It's not really something, you know, you can see where the deers have been eating back here, but I don't do that much deer fence right now because it's like, you're just kind of like blah. So here is my butterfly bushes that were almost dead that I got from Leaf and Petal, and I put them in here and they're doing pretty good. Weeds! And here's another hibiscus that I cut back. I'll see if I can see a worm on there. I don't see any. Hopefully I got them all, but I was going to show you what they look like. This butterfly bush is doing really good. These, I would highly, highly, highly suggest these hummingbird mints that I got from Leaf and Petal. The butterflies, bees, everything loves them. This is how they came in a little teeny 2-inch like pot. This is how big they've gotten. They've done great. Here's my butterfly bush I almost killed by giving it too much fertilizer, and now it's the best one that I planted this year out of that group. Look how beautiful that is. It's called a rainbow butterfly bush. It is so pretty. Back here I have a tomato plant and wanted to show you in the ground, my ground, not the raised bed garden ground, how much better these tomatoes look. So there's a cucumber. It didn't do great. Like I said, I haven't had horrible luck with cucumbers this year. I have planted 2 other cucumbers back here. They're both dead and gone. There's a big time lavender. So around here is my extension cord I forgot to pick up. Wait 1 second, please. Okay. As soon as we get off here today, I am going to come in here and tie up my tomato plants. These tomato plants are doing really good. I put them in the ground way later than the other ones. A lot of tomatoes coming up. Here's another. I bought 4 total of those, but the rainbow butterfly bushes, and they're doing really good. I don't know which is which. Some are gold and some are, always looking for I haven't seen any of the hornworms on here. But some of them are gold tomatoes and some of them are, look how awful. I need to get out here. And some of them are black Cherokee tomatoes. But they are, I mean, doing so good just in my dirt. Here's another one of those butterfly bushes. And I put 2 big time lavenders in here. and 3 butterfly bushes, and then the tomatoes. This is another one. It's my worst one I've done. As you can see, some weeds are growing. There's my clematis. It's trying. It's really trying. Look at this huge tomato bush. Well, it's not a bush tomato, but it's a tomato I need to tie up. But I mean, it's huge. I do see like leaf damage. Oh, I see one. Not a hornworm yet. One of these little black. Die. So I see the leaf damage. So when I come out here and tie them up, I'll really have a good look at them. I'm getting pretty good at spotting the hornworms now, because once you see one, it's like when you mushroom hunt and you see a ton of them. And my lilac here is starting to die back for winter. I hope I have a bunch of blooms on here next year. It's from my grandmother's, cutting off one of my grandmother's plants. So coming around the corner here, there is something new to see. Da da da! There is the post for my garden. When they put the post in, I was like, man, that is a little garden. But I also have this raised bed over here that I bought. I will put the price when I edit this. I'll put the price and the name of the bed on here, how much I paid for it. I like this bed. I don't like that this is on the outside. I mean, why? They don't even do that on t-shirts. But I mean, I don't know. Maybe them Virgo beds or Vigo beds or whatever they're called, maybe they're made in America. I don't know. But anyway, I'm thinking about in my garden. I've been watching Living Traditions Homestead, I think that's what it's called. And they have just the weed barrier and they plant directly in the ground. And I'm really thinking about doing that instead of the raised bed, and just put the raised bed somewhere else and put stuff that the deers just don't care about. But it's going to be beautiful, so I'm very excited about it. I'll go back over here. Hopefully it'll be tall enough. I think it's 6 foot tall to keep deers out. Here's my worm bin. Let me get out of this. Now, I've been seeing worms in here, plus 1,000 bugs. There is my thing I pulled out of the ground yesterday, the zucchini and the... Get out of here, get out of here. Oh. A moth flew in here. I'll try to get it. Hold on 1 second. Okay, the moth was saved. There are worms in here. I tried to dig and get where I could show you. Look. There's a stupid squash beetle in here, but he won't live. He came with the squash, I guess. Don't want to save you, buddy. Tons of them, tons of them. Look at that. Oh my goodness. Ugh. They were all on there. There's one trying to come up. So, you need to live here. I can't believe that. Look at that. They're everywhere. Gross. Yeah. But you know, they didn't do too much damage to my zucchinis, I don't think. Okay, so right here, I've showed before, this is going to be a garden, much like this garden, which has cardboard, topsoil, and this is just grass clippings. And here is another 2 tomato plants that have done great in the ground, which is, like I said, while I'm really thinking about putting my, just some weed barrier and putting everything directly in the ground, because it's doing so good. I was going to weed eat this before I started planting and putting the cardboard down, but it's got so many of these with the seed heads on them that I'm just going to put the cardboard down. I did put some cardboard down. If I plant something, I put the cardboard around it first. So that's a little hibiscus. So hopefully I'll have something to show you next week or sometime about with this. I can hear my son's movie. And over here is the things I said I would show you when we came around, because we're really back at the beginning. There's my peppers, and put too many in here, but they still did pretty good. So I'm really happy with it. Next year I would put 3 maybe. Here's a dead one. Compost. I put 3 in here, maybe. And maybe, I don't know if I'd put this. I mean, it doesn't seem like these are helping against hornworms. This big time lavender died. This one is going in the ground over there where the new garden goes. Here's my deformed cucumber. I will eat it with relish. I do not give a crap what it looks like as long as it tastes good. So that is it. All right, guys, that's the end of the garden tour. There's not a whole lot to see, and it's not very pretty, but there's something to see, and it's always interesting to me. And I love coming out here and getting as much vitamin D and sunlight and stuff as I can. I've said it before, I want to work very, very hard all summer long into the fall, as long as I can before it gets cold, so that when it gets cold, you're like, okay, I'm ready. Because I don't know about you, I dread winter so much. I think my problem is, I think it's the short days and the dreariness. And if I get a really bright and sunny winter, even if it's cold, I can handle it. But if it's dreary and snowy and it's just continuous and day after day is the same, and it gets dark at 5 o'clock, and so you're starting to get tired at 5 o'clock, where right now, you know, you get tired at 9 o'clock. And so you have so much more energy in the summer, and every year I dread it. But some things that help me are, I am going to buy a bunch of garden books. Joe Gardner's coming out, Joe Lample, he's coming out with a book. Jess is coming out with, I don't know when it comes out. She's coming out with a book. Jess Siders, there's a dog whining behind me. Let me go see if he wants out. Okay, he's out. Jill from Whispering Willow Farm, do not pee on my tripod, please. She's coming out with a book. So I'm going to buy all the books I can. And I also want to learn a lot about fermenting, because I know it's so good for you. I'm going to buy them all I can. And as soon as Christmas is over, I'm going to get in the garden mindset. And looking at those books, they look beautiful. I have Jess's other book, The First Time Gardener. I highly suggest that book. I'm still reading it. I feel like I'm going to quit reading that book right now and start again in January, because right now I'm so busy that I'm not enjoying it like I would in the winter months. So I might reread what I've already read and read the whole thing through in January, because that helps me. And then I can get right into starting my seeds. I think the AeroGarden's going to help me. And, I have a light that simulates sunlight, because I don't think I have, what is it called? The disorder that, where you really need the light, but the light helps. But you're not supposed to look directly at it. So when I get up in the morning and I'm having my coffee, I have this big bright light over here. It helps me wake up, and it gives me another hour of sunlight, even though there's no sun. So that's something you might think about if you have a hard time. They sell them on Amazon, all different types. I also have the alarm that slowly gets brighter, and then it has bird sounds. You can choose all kinds of different sounds. It has bird sounds that wakes me up. But I set it for 10 minutes. It starts getting gradually brighter, like the sun coming up, until your alarm goes off. And that helps so much in the winter. They also sell them on Amazon. You don't have to buy the expensive Philips one. You can buy a cheaper one. But really read the reviews, because the first one I got was so hard to set. This one I got was pretty hard to set. Like I still, every time change, I still have to get the book out and do it, but it takes 5 minutes. But that's something, if the seasonal disorder, if you have like just hard time getting up and it's depressing to you to get up in the dark, that's something that really, really can help get you out of bed. But that's just a few of the things that I'm going to do to help myself get through the winter. Poor me. I live in America. I got food in the freezer. I hate to complain about anything, but you know, that I just, that's how I feel in the winter. That's how it is for me. So anyway, I'll see you next week. Hopefully I'll have that garden done. I have to plant, I want to put the snap peas in there. I'm going to put that lavender in there. And then I'm going to put the cardboard down just on top of the grass, topsoil, and the grass clippings. And anyway, I'm just rambling. I'm sorry. I might be editing this heavily so I don't take up a big portion of your day. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope that you have a great week and you laugh without fear of the future. And I'll see you next week. Goodbye.